Oliver Tree was born June 29, 1993 in Santa Cruz, California. His father, Jesse Luis Nickel III, and his mother, Christine Begin Nickel, were traveling circus performers when he was very young. Because of that, they lived in a mobile motorhome where instruments lined the walls of the vehicle that fostered his child creativity. They settled back down in Santa Cruz when he was about 12, and when he was 13, he had a cousin who passed away due to spinal meningitis. This caused Oliver's mental health to slightly decline, where he started using and selling drugs that led him to being kicked out of the family home. And after that, he turned to his creative outlets to cope, ultimately reconciling with his parents after finding stability through local music collectives and athletic competitions. The stress on his mental health along this time is what would often be the theme across his music discography. He started releasing music under the name Tree in 2010. He actually opened for Skrillex and Zedd as a DJ by this time. He sang and played guitar in a ska band called Irony, which was his first experience performing. He performed at music festivals such as Wobbleland 2011 in San Francisco and independently dropped an album, Splitting Branches, in 2013. He worked on a few more projects and then took a break to study music technology at California Institute of the Arts. In March of 2016, he returned to music on a feature song, Forget It by Getter. In November later that year, he made his first TV debut and performed on Last Call with Carson Daly. In 2018 and 19, he dropped a bunch of singles that were a part of his hit album Ugly is Beautiful that dropped July 17, 2020. Expanding into publishing, Tree collaborated with Z2 Comics in 2021 to release a graphic novel titled Oliver Tree vs. Little Rocky ZR3, which expanded on the lore of his characters and alter egos. In 2023, Oliver collaborated with Darman and created a short film inspired by Oliver's true story. Oliver Tree is such a down-to-earth guy and so is unapologetically himself. He went to do so many different things involving today's culture, as well as starting his tour to go across all 7 continents. In June 2026, he traveled to South America for his headlining concert tour involving his 4th studio album, Love You Madly, Hate You Badly, which commenced on May 30th in Mexico City. Following tour stops in Buenos Aires on June 4th, in Sao Paulo on June 6th, Tree arrived in Rio de Janeiro. Active on social media, Tree documented his stay in the city by interacting with locals in a favela, filming himself playing football, and uploading Instagram stories alongside fellow musicians from a Rio recording studio just hours before the incident. On June 14, 2026, Oliver Tree, along with 5 other passengers, were in a Bell 206 Jet Ranger helicopter operated by Trafic Comercio de Frutas. At around 9 a.m., the helicopter with Oliver collided with another helicopter. The collision caused Oliver's helicopter to crash into a parking lot of a BYD auto electric car dealership, triggering an exploding and massive fire that destroyed 20 vehicles and killed all 6 passengers. Gaspar Prim Diaz, Lucas A. Vignali, Lucas Frota, Alexandra Souza, and the other plane pilot, Charles Marcelac, also passed. Following his death, we seen what happened to many past artists before happening to him right in front of our eyes. He blew up overnight, again. On June 13th, 2026, he had about 15 million followers. Today, as of recording, he has 25.6 million. People are even making memes about his follower surge. When an artist passes away, there's a mix of fans hurt by their death and of people wanting to capitalize off that. And that isn't anything new. Look what happened to Max and Margiela just recently. Every post was about hating on his hair. He passed away and all the posts appreciating his art and him as a person started coming through. But we can go even further back. Way past Juice WRLD, way past Michael Jackson. My dad was telling me about how other artists were also treated in such a way throughout history, like someone named Vincent van Gogh. Vincent Willem van Gogh, born March 30th, 1853, was a Dutch post-impressionist painter who is among the most famous and influential figures in the history of Western art. In his lifetime, he painted around 2,100 works of art, most of them in the last 2 years of his life. He's known for a lot of his artwork that includes landscapes, still lifes, portraits, self-portraits, and are characterized by bold colors and dramatic and impulsive, expressive brushwork that contributed to the foundations of modern art. His suicide at 37 followed years of mental illness and poverty. One thing I want to point out is self-portraits are how the person views themselves. Like Brian Lewis tried making a self-portrait on every different type of drug. He sees himself quite differently, given his mental state and everything, but we'll move on. Born into an upper middle class family, Van Gogh drew as a child and was serious, quiet, and thoughtful. As a young man, he worked as an art dealer, often traveling, but became depressed after he was transferred to London. He turned to religion and spent time as a Protestant missionary in southern Belgium. He drifted in ill health and solitude before taking up painting in 1888. His early works contain few signs of the vivid color that distinguished his later work. His paintings grew brighter in color as he developed a style that became fully realized during his stay in Arras, the south of France, in 1888. Van Gogh suffered from psychotic episodes and delusions, and though he worried about his mental stability, he often neglected his physical health, did not eat properly, and drank heavily. His friendship with someone named Gauguin ended after a confrontation with a razor when in a rage. He severed part of his own left ear. He spent time in psychiatric hospitals, including a period at Saint Remy, where he painted the Starry Night and other beautiful pieces. After he discharged himself and moved to the Auberge Rovaz, and I'm not even going to try to say that, you can read that, near Paris, he came under the care of the homeopathic doctor Paul Gachet. His depression continued on, and on 27th of July, 1890, Van Gogh shot himself in the chest with a revolver. But he didn't die right away. He later passed from his injuries 2 days later. Van Gogh was unsuccessful during his lifetime and considered a madman and a failure. However, he became famous after his suicide and exists in the public imagination as the quintessential misunderstood genius, the artist, where discourses on madness and creativity converge. That's just one artist that I heard about that went through the same thing. Another thing I see that stays consistent through time is that artists tend to be troubled people. To this day, you can find just about any artist going through their own troubles, almost like they're human, just like us. Claude Monet was born on November 14th in the year 1840. He was a French painter and founder of Impressionism who is seen as a key precursor to modernism, especially in his attempts to paint nature as he perceived it. The term Impressionism is derived from the title of his painting Impressionism Sunrise, which was exhibited in 1874 at the first Impressionist exhibition, initiated by Monet and a number of like-minded artists as an alternative to the Salon, the official art exhibition of the Académie des Beaux-Arts in Paris. Monet was raised in Le Havre, Normandy, and became interested in the outdoors and drawing from an early age. However, his mother, Louise Justine Aubry Monet, supported his ambitions to be a painter. His father, Claude Adolphe, disapproved and wanted him to pursue a career in business. He was very close to his mother, but she died in January 1857 when he was 16 years old, and he was sent to live with his childless, widowed, but wealthy aunt, Marie-Jeanne Lacardre, whatever. He studied at Académie Suisse and under the academic history painter Charles Gleyre, where he was a classmate of Auguste Renoir. His early works include landscapes, seascapes, and portraits, but attracted little attention. From 1883, Monet lived in Giverny, also in northern France, where he purchased a house and property and began a vast landscaping project, including a water lily pond. Monet's ambition to document the French countryside led to a method of painting the same scene many times so as to capture the changing of light and passing of the seasons. Among the best-known examples are his series of haystacks, paintings of Rouen Cathedral, and the paintings of water lilies in his garden in Giverny, which occupied him for the last 20 years of his life. Frequently exhibited and successful during his lifetime, however, Monet's fame and popularity soared in the second half of the 20th century when he became one of the world's most famous painters and source of inspiration for a burgeoning group of artists. I wanted to share the stories of these people with you. It's a topic I'm very passionate about, being an artist myself and a lover of history. Rest in peace, Maxim Margiela. Rest in peace, Oliver Tree. Rest in peace, Tay Keith. And rest in peace, all the creative geniuses who have passed away. Weird transition, but don't forget to like and subscribe to see more content like this. Thank you for watching.